Sometimes in life, things don't always go to plan, but you can always rely on Mansfield Town Football Club to give you some content to fill 45 minutes-ish with. The season may be over and done with, and we might be climbing the walls on Saturday afternoon. So we thought we'd fill the gap by recording some episodes of Stag Stories. Unfortunately, at the very last minute, we had to cancel those plans. But on the very same day, earlier in that day, the Stags signed John Russell. So me, Clive, Nick and Emily all got together and spent 45 minutes talking about Stags and having a bit of a laugh. Why? Well, because Mansfield always matters, and we thought that you guys might be missing your Thursday evenings too. So, we're not live, but feel free to have a chat with each other in the comments, socialise, do all of that stuff, and enjoy the ramblings of four bored Mansfield Town fans. Why? Well, quite simply, because Mansfield always matters. Sit back and enjoy this bonus episode, unplanned, unscripted, unthought of Mansfield Matters. Hello and welcome to the Mansfield Matters Podcast, a show for the fans, by the fans. Why? Because Mansfield always matters. Now, it's Thursday, 7:30pm-ish, and we know that you're missing the podcast. We've had a few messages saying my Thursdays just aren't the same. So we thought that we would scratch that itch, if you like, and do you a little bit of a Mansfield Matters special. Now, unfortunately, we couldn't all get together live on Thursday at 7:30. So this is pre-recorded. As it stands, it's 5 to 7. Last night, Wednesday, the 20th of May. So we thought we'd get together, have a little quick catch-up, talk all things Mansfield Town, and just sort of bridge the gap of boredom a little bit. So joining me to do that, I have got three of my Mansfield Matters podcast panelist friends. Let's say hello, good evening, and welcome to all of them. First and foremost, a man who has put his own self-sacrifice forward for the sake of this show by driving legally to the speed limit to get home in record time from work to join us on a podcast which we were supposed to start at 6:30 and then something happened, so now we started at 5 to 7, but more on that later. Hello, Nick.
Hello, Craig. Hello, everyone. It's very much legal speed limit. Very much.
I didn't doubt that. Didn't doubt that for a single second. How has your Saturdays been so far? Because I've been bored out of my head, but I don't have a young child to keep me occupied. I just have a silly dog. So how's your Saturdays been so far?
Yeah, I've got one of them. I've got a silly dog as well. Yeah, it's been all right, to be fair. The little one, keep him busy. I think the only thing at the minute has been football on, hasn't there? So you can watch. I like watching the playoffs. There's always a bit of jeopardy in there, isn't it? I'm not so bothered about the Premier League or anything else, but I have watched the playoffs, which was encouraging to see Chesterfield get knocked out. So we just need to see Notts County get knocked out at the weekend, and that'll finish that off. So it's been all right so far. It might be a bit different when there's no football on, but I guess it's the World Cup, isn't it? But I'm not that fussed about that.
No, me neither. Well, let's head over to someone who is very much living in a town where one of those teams is competing for promotion. They're still in action. What's the buzz like over in Stockport, Emily? Although you won't really care because you're a Stags fan.
No, I don't really care. I'm not really interested. But yeah, well, I'm not really sure I want them to go up though, because we can't collect 3 points like we do every year away. So if they go up, so let's hope that Stockport County stay in League One.
You're just hoping for that for ease of convenience for you, aren't you?
Yes.
And to be fair, out of the two though, who would you want to go up?
Well, both of them are convenient and easy for me, so I don't really mind. I'd like to see Stockport do well. I'll be fair. I'd like to see them do well and go up, but I don't mind really. I'm not bothered.
Well, we'll see. I know a man who also maybe like to see Stockport go up, although if they do, it means he can't go on their podcast next season, just as I'm gutted that Northampton have fallen through the trapdoor, so I can't go on their podcast. Clive, will you be gutted if Stockport make you up and you can't go on theirs?
Mixed view on this one, because you've just mentioned something. I quite like them as a group of people running a podcast, and I've an affinity with the club, I suppose, because of that. But I also like the fact that they deserve success because they've done a journey from way down in a quiet, measured way, unlike that North Welsh outfit. And I just don't think I think they deserve all the success that they can garner. Not a big fan of their manager, if I'm being honest, but that's beside the point. I think the club's gone from tier 92 to get to where they are now, and they've done it in a quiet, measured way. And it's a sort of model that I'm sure Mansfield would emulate if they could.
Yeah, it's certainly been a great climb from them, and it's good to see them sort of back up and running. Right, let's delve into all things Mansfield Town then. As we speak on this Wednesday, the 20th of May, earlier today, Nick, we got our second signing of closed season, although it's a familiar face, as John Russell returns to One Call Stadium. He was on loan to us last season from Barnsley, was let go by them, and he's put pen to paper on a 2-year deal. You're on mute. You've done it again.
I've done it again. I mute myself because I kept coughing. I was thinking people don't want to listen to me spluttering away and slurping away on my.
That's the Mansfield Matters way, though, isn't it? Listening to coffee.
It is the Mansfield Matters way.
I
know. Yeah, so I think it's a really good signing. He became quite influential at the end of last season, I thought, despite not being sure about how he would initially settle. Barnsley gave him their fans gave him a lot of praise, so it didn't look like it was going to be a good one, and he was really influential. I thought he was a really big part of that midfield at the end, and kind of showed us where the other players were lacking, the ones that we've got rid of. He sort of stepped up and went far beyond what we expected from the other midfielders. So it's a really good sign, and the intention is big, isn't it? He's a big player. He'd have had more options than Mansfield, I think, without a shadow of a doubt. Similar to Tyler Roberts, which I'm sure we'll get onto, but yeah, I think it's a really an intention that he's. Feels like the club's going somewhere, because if he thought we were in any danger of getting relegated or we weren't going to perform as well as last season, I don't think he'd have signed. So I think it's a really good sign that players as good as him, certainly established Championship League One players, are willing to come to Mansfield.
Yeah, so it's a big signing of intent, Clive, as is Tyler Roberts. Let's stick with John Russell, though, for just a second. A 2-year deal from him. Again, nice to see that the club are following that pathway by securing the future and things like that. And he had such a good impact on us last season as well. There would have been a lot of clubs sniffing around for his signature. And also, I have no doubt that within that 2-year deal, as there has been for all of the Stags players in recent years who've signed 2-year deals, there'll probably be an extension of a year in there written in as well. So a signing of intent for our future for sure. And we've seemingly beat off some stiff competition too.
Yeah, I'm sure that is an attractive acquisition for a number of clubs at our level. I'll confess to not thinking much of him when he first came. I didn't see what he got to offer, but he grew into his role, and the players around him grew into that role with him in that last third of the season. And it's no mistake during that time we lost 1 game in 15, which we shouldn't have lost. And actually, if that form had been throughout the season, we'd been in the playoffs. And he's got to take some part in that because he's been influential. He scored a couple of very interesting goals along the way. I'm really delighted he's signed.
Yeah, it's certainly a good signature. And I think, Nigel Clough made it clear, didn't he, Emily, that he wanted to get both Tyler Roberts and John Russell done. And I think probably a little bit of both between them. I'll sign if he signs and vice versa.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of that going on, because when Tyler Roberts scored, and he scores as well, but when he signed, I was quite surprised, and I thought, oh, right, we might get Johnny Russell now as well. It's almost like they sort of go hand in hand. So I think that's going to work really well. And I agree with Clive. At first we were kind of all a bit not sure about Russell, but he's really, really kind of gelled with the team, I think, now, and he knows his role, and seems to be a great signing. So really, really happy about that.
Yeah, and I think on the back of that, Nick, as well, Tyler Roberts coming in. I'm glad we got that done early, because I'm in no doubt that we actually would have signed him, even though I know you had other thoughts with his tweet and his Instagram post at the end of the season. But I think the longer it would have gone on without us announcing it, the more worried I probably would have got. So I was pleased to see that it was done very, very quickly, actually.
Yeah, really quickly. I think that's probably a good thing for us because the longer it goes on with someone like him available, the more offers you would assume that he gets. I think he would have been the hardest to replace out of the ones. Maybe Russell would have been up there as well, but out of what we were looking to bring in, I think Roberts solves that sort of attacking midfield, partially striker. I know he's not striker, but that sort of attacking problem that we had we have not had him. And I know we were linked a lot to McGoldrick. Maybe that puts that to bed. I'm not sure, but yeah, to get it done early, to get your top 2 signings. I think if we'd have put a list of who do we want to sign, they'd have been the top 2. I think for most people. So we've done that within a week, 2 weeks. It's really strong business now, and now it's hopefully nice to just get a few of the nice to haves rather than the emergency problems that we need to fix, which was central midfield and sort of attacking midfield. We've done that, so yeah, let's hopefully we can take our time now and get some other signings in the door, the right players, which obviously Clough is on with. I would have thought.
I do feel, Clive, that this close season is going to be one of the most boring ones in terms of waiting for news coming from the club. We've got Tyler Roberts done. We've got John Russell done. We're probably not going to hear anything on new signings until the end of June when, contracts get released. It's going to be a quiet few weeks now. We're going to have to start playing Scrabble or something, aren't we?
Well, we don't know, do we? I mean, the reality is we're in a better position in this close season than we've been in previous ones. The squad that we've got at the moment is stronger by far than what we've inherited in previous close seasons. So I think there's no need to panic. We do need some fresh blood, of course we do. And I'm sure that the recruitment team are working assiduously in the background to try and get some signatures. But equally, those players and their agents, moreover, they'll be shopping around a little bit. And so some of those things won't come along until they've exercised all their options. And I think we'll pick up a couple of decent names somewhere along the line.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it goes, because I think one lesson we've learned from the last season just gone, Emily, is Clough certainly set out at the start of the campaign to play a certain way. He said about Dom Dwyer, didn't he, in his sort of final interview of the season, that it would have worked if we were playing 2 up front, but then we didn't go with that system and we had to change it. So I think he's got to allow room, which is quite interesting because we've let 3 go to free up those 3 squad spaces. But Clough says he's only going to bring 2 in to allow for that extra bit of wiggle room at the end of the towards the end of the window. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I haven't put much thought to that, but I do think he wants some flexibility in there, doesn't he? Because, like you say, he did say that Dom Dwyer just wasn't fitting the way he wanted to play. So he probably doesn't want a repeat of that. Doesn't want, players that are sort of fixed in playing a certain way. He likes adaptable players. There's no doubt about that. He loves players who can play in different positions. I do wonder whether Will Evans is going to move positions. I do wonder about that. I'm not completely convinced either way, but that's going to be interesting because I do think that, as working on the wing, he does seem to work quite well. So I wonder whether he'll move and then we'll bring in somebody to sort of replace what he was doing last season.
It'd be interesting to see, Clive, where it all works out with Tyler Roberts, because towards the back end of last season, obviously Tyler Roberts was being used sparingly to manage his injury and to manage his comeback from injury. I don't know whether it'll be used as an out-and-out front man, whether it'll be used sort of in the 10 role or whatever. But I certainly think Emily's got a point. Will Evans, for me, seems actually better when we push him in those wide positions. And if we're going to play on the front foot and play quite attacking, I think a left wing-back role would actually quite work for him, providing we can get the right left-sided centre-half to tuck in at the side.
Yeah, I think he's an excellent wing-back. And I think if we can find a buzzy striker, then we don't need him up there, because all he does is complicate the relationship between him and Reece Oates. And I think we've not really benefited from those 2 players working together. And if you think back, Evans was at his best when Gregory was around him. And that's not going to happen now. And going back to Tyler Roberts, my only anxiety about Tyler Roberts is whether he's going to stay injury-free. Because he could be a broken vase in an expensive china cabinet if we're not careful. What we've got to do is to make sure we play to his comforts as well as his strengths. And that might mean not exposing him to too many risk areas. But football is a risk game, and if he's at all fragile he'll get found out, and we'll end up paying someone not to play rather than paying someone to excite us. I hope it's not the case. I really do, because it's not good for him, and it's certainly not good for us. I imagine the club's got more confidence in the situation than I have, because they've got more insight into his medical condition.
I think the Stags, you know, it will be a very cautious but risky strategy, but they'll have certainly done the work, Nick. And I think Nigel Clough will have spoken to the medical staff, you know, looking at it and going, right, what do we need to do to manage him? How are we going to best get him through? But if any club is going to do that, Mansfield Town are going to do that. You know, you look at the likes of Uncle Stephen in his last couple of seasons with us. Lucas Akins a lot of the time just turns up on a match day and plays. Dave turns up and plays sometimes as well. Aidan Flint, when he was here as well, sometimes would only train a couple of days a week or not as much. We are a very good club at managing that sort of situation.
Yeah, and I think Clough seems really flexible. I don't think he's one of those, if you don't train, you don't play. I think whenever you hear the interviews, they talk about Cloughy, you know, going to medical appointments or with your wife or whatever, your kids or whatever it might be. You know, I think if Robert sat down to Nigel Clough and said, or, you know, him and the medical team said, I'm going to be better off training 2 or 3 days a week, and I'm going to be less likely to get injured, Clough would snap your hand off. He's like, fine, whatever. You know, there's certain players, isn't there, that get treated slightly differently, and I don't think we've had many of those. I think there's normally everyone's been on a pretty even keel, but you know, you hear stories, if you've ever heard any stories of Fergie about how he treated Cantona, completely different to everybody else. You know, he's that sort of player, isn't he, Tyler Roberts? He's a bit of a maverick and a bit of a, you know, we just want him to be on the pitch. So however we get him on the pitch, I think he's, you know, I don't see him playing Saturday, Tuesday every week. But then we also need to be aware, if he's not playing, who does that role? Because as we saw at Northampton last year, we took him off and we just capitulated. So it'd be nice to see whether there's any backup to Roberts and who that is and how, whether he pushes Russell up or however he does it. You know, you, like Clive said, you can't guarantee it. And probably his fitness is the only reason he's at Mansfield. If he'd have played 46 league games last season, would he be at Mansfield? Probably not. So it's a blessing and a curse, I think, his fitness.
Where was he before he was signed by Birmingham?
Was he at Leeds?
Yeah, in the Premier League.
Just thinking, if he's a northern lad still living in the north, we're well in his commute area, aren't we? And I think I've mentioned this every time we discuss players that don't have to relocate see attraction in that opportunity, and I think we fit.
That's why we got Gregory.
Central team.
We
fit.
Gregory.
Yeah, absolutely, and not just players at the end of their careers either. I mean, we're talking about players who've still got between 5 and 10 years left in them. It's always good for them, having established a family and a family home, not to have to upheave that just to go and chase the next dollar.
Yeah. Speaking of contract length, though, Emily, one thing which does stand out about Tyler Roberts is the fact that it's only a 1-year deal. And Nigel Clough made an interesting comment actually in the press release about it, saying that regardless of who he signed for, it was only ever going to be a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
Interesting, isn't it? But it sounds like Tyler Roberts might have been calling the shots. Let's be fair. You know, he might have been getting what he wants, and that's okay. It's like Nick was saying, we just want him on the pitch. So, you know, if we can get him on the pitch and treat him like, you know, the fragile, injured player that he might be, then hopefully we'll get enough out of him. I mean, he came on at Stockport and was a complete impact sub. He just completely changed the game at Stockport. I've never seen anything like it.
Let's just suppose he has a cracking close season and he's fit as a flea next year and he plays from the start and he has an immediate and sustained impact on the team's success. The problem with that is come January, we'll end up selling him to somebody because there'll be a lot of money on his head.
Yeah, but there's other danger in that, though, Clive, is he's only got a 1-year contract. And
that's why we'd sell him in January, because we won't have the opportunity next summer.
Well, this is the point, though, isn't it? Because this is where agents sort of step in. This is the risky point, isn't it? Where, you know, I would put it this way. If somebody came in for him and offered him money and he had a good start of the season, it was a good fee, you'd be daft to turn it down given the status where we are. I'd rather get £1 from them, let him go for nothing. But we do run that risk of letting him go for nothing.
With every player.
Postseason. Yeah.
Every player, you know, that's on any form of contract, with that last half season and the people are sniffing around, we have to consider, as a small club with a small bank account, if somebody's offering money for a player, we have to consider it seriously.
Yeah.
And him and his agent are keeping that option open, clearly, because if you know, if a bigger club with a bigger budget and therefore more to pay him shows an interest in him, they're going to want to go, and they're going to say to the club in no direct way, okay, I'll sit in for the rest of the season. You won't get anything for me. I'll do a pre-signature with them, or they're going to say, let's see if we can really find a compromise that both parties can work to.
I think the Stags have to find the compromise this time around, though, Nick, because we've been burnt by this situation before. We could have cashed in on a certain shoelace tie-in striker that's, I think, been released from his latest club, in a certain Mr. Johnson, who certainly will never feature on Stag Stories because he hasn't got one to tell other than this story about tying the shoelaces. We've got to learn from things like that.
To be fair, I mean, I'm not a big fan of the lad, but he played surprisingly good football for someone with a huge bottom lip that he kept tripping over.
This is very true. We've got to learn.
I was going to say huge bottom. I was going to say I never really noticed. The thing about Roberts is we know what we're signing up to. That's the only thing I will say about Roberts is we know he's injury prone. We know he's only on a 1-year deal. We know he's probably got ambitions far greater than Mansfield. So I guess is he one of those players that you just sit along for the ride for the year and just go, well, we'll see how it goes, and hopefully you get some magical moments, and at the end of it, if he leaves without blessing, then so be it. He might have told the club, look, I want a year. If I have a really good year, I'll be off. And the club have gone, all right, because it benefits us, doesn't it? We don't owe him anything. We haven't paid anything for him. If he goes for free, then so be it. I guess we haven't lost out, other than all we've gained, I guess, and the club will have to weigh it up, is what we're paying him worth what we're going to get out of him? And I know you don't know that because he could break his leg on day one, but if he scores 10, 15 goals and gets some assists and we all go, wow, he helped us get to whatever in the table, then I guess so be it. The hope is that you do well enough that you end up in the playoffs or whatever it might be, and he decides to stay. He wouldn't be the first player to sign for Mansfield and you think, oh, he's going to want out after a year, and they enjoy it here and they stay. I think the manager's a big part of that as well, which come the end of the season, I think is a real worry for them. It's probably actually my biggest concern is what happens post Clough, if I'm honest, because you know the 20 years or so before Clough weren't that great that I've witnessed myself. So you know that's a big worry. But it used to say Clough stays another year and he goes, you know what, I like it here, I like working under him, I'll have another season. You don't know, do you? It's all hypothetical, but I think the club know what they're signing up to. It's not like a Danny Johnson where you sign him and you think, wow, he's going to be pedigree and he's going to stay with us for the contract and we're going to have no issues, and then he turns into a bit of a knob. You know,
well, it went from,
you know, we know what we're signing up to, don't we?
Danny Johnson went from pedigree to pedigree chum. Anyway, moving on to other news, Emily, and that is in terms of putting our squad together. Contract negotiations are coming along well because Lucas Akins, JB9, Elliot Hewitt, George Maris and Stephen McLaughlin have all signed new 1-year contracts with the club. And you know what? For all 5 of them, I think 1 year is absolutely sensible. Lucas Akins, in terms of age, even though we know his ability and fitness is still there. Jordan Bowery's obviously had a season with injury, but also is on the getting towards the wrong side of age-wise as well. George Maris, massive injury risk from last season and the season before that. Same with Elliot Hewitt as well. And again, Stephen McLaughlin into the age bracket. So sensible deals, but all good players. And I think under any other manager, if Clough maybe had gone the end of this season and said, you know what, I've had enough, I'm giving it to a new manager, you'd probably have looked at those 5 players and gone, you were great servants for the club, thank you very much. But with Clough still at the helm, you look at those 5 players and you think they can still play a critical part.
Yeah, definitely. Especially, I thought Macca might go, you know, because his form has been a bit poor recently, but I'm glad that he's staying. You know, he's my favourite player at the moment, so I'm glad he's staying. But Bowery, I really feel like Bowery showed in the closing parts of the season that he's still just as good as he was at the beginning of the season. So I'm really, really pleased about that. Maris and Hewitt probably yet to be seen exactly how they're going to contribute to the squad, but happy with those signings. Anyway, and Akins has obviously been phenomenal this year, last season. So more than happy for him to sign for another year. He is clearly very fit and doesn't seem to get injured. So we love that, don't we?
Yeah, fingers crossed that we don't give him the curse. Elsewhere, in news elsewhere, obviously we're all itching for football fixtures already. With what, 2 weekends. The league season isn't even finished because we've still got the playoff final to come as well. But we're all itching for fixtures, Nick. And I know you've been doing a little bit of a deep dive on the internet, and I think you've spotted a couple of friendlies, although we've not got dates confirmed. I'm going to guess one's Retford, and I'll throw another one in there. Let's have Ren of Miners welfare.
Yeah, well, I've been to Rennes for a while actually, but I think somebody said Hucknall had also said they were playing Stags. And was it last year we went to Hucknall? Or the year before?
It was, wasn't it? Last year, wasn't it?
Last year, yeah. Oh yeah, because Tommy Dwyer played, didn't he? I think those two are pretty given, aren't they? I mean, it'd be interesting. Did he say they're only going to get one home one potentially?
Yeah, because the pitch is being redone, isn't it?
Because the pitch and stuff. I mean, a nice localish Championship, Premiership team would be nice, wouldn't it? If Hull get up, we could play them again, but they'd be a Premier League team this time. Obviously not going to be Leicester. We've played them before, but that's out the window. We used to play Leeds at home sometimes in friendlies, didn't we? In Sunderland and Middlesbrough, we did that a few times.
Well, it was Oxford last year, wasn't it?
Oxford and Middlesbrough.
Yeah, it's not going to be them again, is it? It's definitely not going to be Oxford again, is it?
Was Middlesbrough the other one last year? Yeah. So it could potentially be
3-3. That was the 3-all, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to get a decent one, and then I usually like to just tick off new ground. So if we go somewhere we've not been before, that's always nice. But the Scotland one's all right, isn't it? There'll be potentially a couple of Scotland games, although it could be out of nowhere. But
this is why I was thinking we actually need to say at this point in the podcast goodbye to Mr. Clive Parkin, because we are about to be introduced to our newest member of the Mansfield Matters podcast, Jock McParkin. So we're going to say bye to Clive for a second, and we'll I look forward to introducing you to Jock at some point. Although my mouse has just died, so I actually can't hide you from the screen. So you'll have to exit.
He looks like Clive, though, doesn't he? That's the thing that I always don't understand.
Yeah,
he looks like Clive. Which is weird, isn't it? But...
So Clive will hopefully Jock will come in and say hello in just a minute, whilst I scramble to plug in to get past all of the 7 glasses that I've got accumulated on my desk and plug in another mouse, because my mouse has decided to die. So this could be fun. We look forward to doing that. Do you know what? Whilst we do that, I'll tell you, I can't even go for a break because I need the mouse to click the button. Yeah, it's fun. Are you looking forward to a trip to Scotland, Emily? Are you going to try and make the journey up?
No, very unlikely. I have to be honest. I'm already going to Scotland in September. So, I'm not going to.
I always find it weird now. Jock's background is the same as Clive's. Like, they must have identical houses.
I think he lives in the same house.
Yeah.
Is Clive just nipped to the toilet?
You're
muted, Jock.
You're on mute, Jock. You're on mute. You need to unmute yourself. You're on mute, Jock. You need to unmute yourself, Jock.
Hello.
Jock's not quite as good at technology than Clive, is he?
He's not. Clive's better at tech.
He's not quite there, Jock. He needs help. Can Clive give him a bit of help?
Okay.
Is Clive there?
No, he's gone to the lavatory.
He's Indian, is he?
Oh, goodness.
That's not new accent. Come back.
Hello, John. Are you looking forward to the friendly, John?
It's obvious I'm not a Scot. I'm not a Glaswegian because I've got all my teeth.
Oh, God.
Well, we've lost some listeners there.
If any Scotland Stags fans are watching, we do apologise wholeheartedly. And those, of course, are the views of Mr. Clive Parkin, who is at the bottom of your screen. So if you do see Mansfield Matters on tour in Scotland, it's him that you need to lynch.
This is itchy.
There we go, Clive's back.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
You've just missed a new podcast guest called Jock McParkin.
Surprised you didn't see him walk past. He was there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Have you seen our Jock?
Anyone seen our Jock? Yeah. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. What a.
Are we going to go? Are we going to go to that? Are we going to go up to? I don't know where it is. But...
I am up for. I mean, once
I am. Yeah.
Maybe we find like a nice Airbnb or something which is big enough for all of us, or a hotel somewhere, and we all do like a little Mansfield Matters road trip. Emily's looking annoyed now because she can't.
Well, no, I'm not. We go to Scotland quite a lot. My husband's a downhill mountain biker, so if you want to know where the Airbnbs are,
beg your pardon? I've never been so insulted in my life.
What's that?
Is that like an uphill gardener?
I thought he was a Cockney rhyming slang.
Carry on. Don't put off.
Downhill mountain Right, racing not a euphemism for something now?
Not that I know of.
It used to be that, Clive. It used to be downhill mountain biking, didn't you, back in the day?
I can't. My knees are no good anymore. If I go down, I can't get up again.
He is genuinely a mountain biker. He goes
Yeah,
to
yeah,
Scotland
yeah.
a lot. So yeah. So he knows all the B&Bs and things. So if
So
there
what
is
Craig was saying, if we go to Scotland, whose bed are you going to share? Because we can't afford a bed
Right.
each. We can't. Listen, money's tight.
I'll sleep in
There's
my
no
van.
budget, is there? We have no budget. We've
be
wasted it
bumps.
all on what's
There'll
in
be
Craig's
bumps. You'll be
bucket. We
all
bought the bucket, didn't we?
I mean, the amount of stuff that we've done this season, the budget is absolutely gone. So if there are any businesses out there looking to sponsor a podcast next
Or any
year,
Stags fans with a free Airbnb. There might be a
Yeah.
Stags fan who's got an Airbnb who doesn't need it.
Yeah.
We could do a
MTFC
cast from
Matters,
Scotland, couldn't we, Craig?
well, this would be the idea. We'll do like a little tour diary, a podcast live from Scotland. We're going to make it.
Diarrhea?
Yeah, what? We'll do what?
Diarrhea?
No, a diary,
Oh, I thought you said
tour
diarrhea.
diary.
Yeah,
A
you know,
travel
that's ir-
blog.
It's a shit
you know,
idea.
diarrhea.
There you go.
Diarrhea. You know, diarrhea is hereditary, don't you? It runs in your genes.
Oh,
Oh God! Please, football, come back soon, so we don't have to. So we don't have to deal with this. Although I still feel that we'll end up dealing with this. So there you go. Right, mtfcmatters@gmail.com. If you are a local business or an owner of an Airbnb and/or hotel in Scotland and you want to put us up, drop us a message and get involved. And if you want to sponsor the podcast or the tour, do get involved and let us know. Right, that's all we've got time for in terms of football chat. But it's Mansfield Matters Podcast, isn't it? So, daft feature? Yeah.
Can you guess who I am? Can you guess who I am? Can you guess who I am? I play for Mansfield Town.
Can you guess who I am?
Can you guess who I am? Can you guess who I am? I play for Mansfield Town.
It's a simple question. I've got 5 clues for you.
Forgot about
gonna
that
say-
jingle.
gonna
I
say
forget. I always
that's
forget
excellent.
these jingles.
That's excellent.
Thanks,
Your
Clive.
best yet.
Thanks. Well, you say that. We were a little peek behind the curtain. We were supposed to be recording a Stag Stories episode this evening. However, a last-minute emergency meant we had to. The guest had to postpone. And 2 minutes before the episode started, I did make a jingle, which I played to everyone before. And Nick pointed out that I said a line in said jingle, but missed a word out on the graphics on screen. And I also forgot to edit out something at the end of the video, so I had to stop it very quickly. So there you go. Production values have gone downhill. Anyway, this is Can You Guess Who I Am? I have got 5 clues for you in a very similar vein to the feature Alan, Where's You Been, which, of course, I won.
Jesus Christ.
I know. I'm going to give you five clues. You're all going to guess after each clue. If you get it after the first clue, it's 5 points. After the second, it's 4, and so on and so on and so on. I haven't prepped this feature, so I've just Googled an ex-player. So the clues are going to be very random indeed. So we'll see how we get on, shall we? Clue number 1 for 5 points is: I was born on the 14th of December, 1981. I was born on the 14th of December, 1981. Can you guess who I am? Emily.
no.
Got to give a random ex-Stag player's name.
No, none of them are old enough. The ones I'm thinking of. Tyler Walker, but he's not old enough to.
Nick.
Bobby Hassel.
Clive.
Not a clue.
I don't remember him.
He played on the left wing.
Alvin, not a clue.
That famous player, yeah.
You need,
Probably
have I
not
got
a
to
clue.
throw a name at you?
Yeah, go on.
Johnny Longbottom.
Johnny Longbottom. Yeah, maybe. But no, it wasn't. For 4 points, the next clue for you is: my youth career involved spells at Retford United, Nottingham Forest, and Mansfield Town. My youth career involved spells at Retford United, Nottingham Forest, and Mansfield Town. Emily, can you guess who I am?
And this person played for Mansfield rather
Indeed.
than. I have absolutely no idea, so I'm going to guess. No, that's too young.
Think of the other long bottom twin. Think of the other long bottom twin that you can say.
Mal Bennin.
Nick.
I think I know the answer. Do you want me to say it? Because I think I'm I'm reasonably confident here.
Have a
I'm
guess.
going to go for Liam Lawrence.
Clive.
Perch.
Nick is correct. It was indeed Liam
It's in
Lawrence.
there.
Well
I
done,
knew he
Nick.
played for Retford, that's all. Because somebody, when we were at the last friendly, said, I used to coach Liam Lawrence here. Like,
Oh, there you go. The other clues that I would have made up on the spot were my former teammates include Craig Disley and Bobby Hassel. I was part of the side which got to the playoff final in 2003-2004. And in that penalty shootout, I was a dick and dinked a penalty because I was cocky.
Yeah.
So the answer was indeed Liam Lawrence, and that concludes a very impromptu feature of Jingle Time.
Can you guess who I am? Can you guess who I am? Can you guess who I am? I play for Mansfield Town.
Can you guess who I am? Can you guess who I am? Can you guess who I am? I play for Mansfield Town.
And there you go. That is all we've got time for. Before we finish, obviously we've got some playoff finals still to come over the next weekend or so. League One, first and foremost. Emily, who would you like to see vacate and move on up to the Championship?
Bolton, because I want to collect 3 points from Stockport away next season.
Nick.
Bolton, because I think they've got the infrastructure to keep going higher, whereas I think Stockport, we've got more of a chance of beating them in our league. So yeah, I'm going to go with, I'd like Bolton, please.
Clive.
Bolton. Same reasons as already been spoken.
And
They deserve to go up as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd agree with that. It was nice to obviously get the victory there in December, but we always tend to do well against Stockport at their place. And I think for Clive's well-being, he needs to have a week on a podcast that doesn't do features about guessing what's in a shoe or where's your
Do they not do that?
They don't do that. And speaking of that, Clive,
They might do next year.
well, they may well do. I mean, flattery is a form of content and all of that stuff. I would talk about the League Two playoff final, but it's obviously who we want to come up. Salford. Thanks not counted for making sure Chesterfield stay there for another season, but obviously, obviously Salford now, isn't it?
Especially having Salford up, though, isn't it? It's a horrible little ground.
But on the flip side to that, it is a horrible little ground. I'll grant you that. But from a selfish point of view, if we have a bad season, which I don't think we will, but if we were to have a bad season, you need to think about 4 teams that are going to be worse than what you are, and no way are Salford going to have the budget or infrastructure to compete in League One. They will go straight back down. I'm sure a Salford fan will clip that up if there are any, and make me eat my words at the end of the season. But again, if there are any. Right. Before we move on, obviously the best feature in last season's podcast was Alan, where's you been? That's not going to return next year because we're going to have Where's Clive Parking? How's preparations coming along for that, Clive? Have you taken a drive on a Saturday afternoon?
No, I've given it about a minute's thought.
All that? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I need to flesh it out, I think. I mean, I've been landed with this. I need to just flesh it out and write myself a brief.
Get a mood board going.
I say, get the post-it notes on show.
Yeah.
Have a little creative writing session.
Have a think tank. If you need to get us together,
we need a planning working group.
We do. We'll have to schedule a meeting, book out a meeting room, and someone bring the custard creams for goodness sake. One feature we will not be doing though, Nick, which I think is a shame because we did have a bit of an impromptu planning meeting before this little recording, is potato or player.
Yeah, it's a disgrace that one's been shelved, to be honest. George Maris Piper was the first one. They were all around Maris Pipers because we had Matty Piper. We couldn't think of any more. So if you've got them, if you sat at home thinking, I don't know what to do all summer, think of your potato-based Mansfield players and, we'll go from there. So I wanted to open up to all vegetables, but I think that's too easy. You know what I mean? Green pea. We already had Christian Mushy Pierce. You know, I don't. Yeah, they're not great, are they? So I'm sure we can. Gustle and beat. You know, what I mean, there's loads of them we could have, but so yeah, if you've got any, just let us know. But I don't think it's going anywhere, that feature, is it?
And if you've enjoyed the last 40 minutes of absolute nonsense here on Mansfield Matters and want to suggest other random topics for us to do during the close season, please do let us know. Hang on, what?
Is it a bit rough
Sorry.
around where you are, Craig?
Sorry, no. StreamYard have added some new sound effects, and I've just noticed that there's a siren blaring in the private chat because somebody wants to do a shout out. She comes on the podcast, demands her own feature, and now she wants to do a shout out. What do you think this is? Radio 2 love songs?
No, I think it's Radio 2 Emily. No, I just wanted to say there was something I wanted to say. I'm going to watch the Lionesses next month, and I'm very excited about it. I'm finally getting to go to the Hill Dickinson Stadium because I missed out last year when Stags were there because I was on holiday. And I just wanted to say a little shout out to my friend Yvonne, who is coming with me, and she is a Stags fan, and I met her through Mansfield Town. So it's just really nice that my new friend from Mansfield Town is coming with me to watch the Lionesses. So I wanted to say hello to Yvonne. Hi, Yvonne.
All I can say is I've met some right weirdos following Mansfield Town. I don't want to name any names.
Oh, hi.
One thing actually we should shout out is the women's team, because my dad went to watch them against his better judgment because it peed it down. They won the cup, didn't they, the week at Arnold's Town? So they're worthy of a shout out.
Emily, a piece of advice: if you're going to make a success of this podcast in Malarkey, you're going to have to be more accurate. Which stadium are you going to?
The Hill Dickinson Stadium.
No, you're not. It's Hill Dickinson Stadium. There's no the.
Oh yes, yeah. Do you
know we are all about accuracy.
I've had this conversation before.
Oh God, he really has found that button, hasn't
Yeah.
Sorry, the pedantic police have just turned up.
We'll have no pedantry here.
It used to be called Bramley Dock.
What?
It used to be called Bramley Dock before it was Hill Dickinson Stadium.
Yes. I mean, before we had our sponsor's name for the ground that Mansfield play at, it wasn't called the Field Mill.
No.
It was Field Mill. There are grounds that you have a the, and there are grounds that you don't have a the.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
You don't have the Stamford Bridge.
Can we start a bloopers edition? Where Clive goes through old clips and picks
I only
out,
mention this for your own good, Emily.
pedantic grammatical features.
I want to see you grow and prosper. I'm only trying to help you on the way.
Does that conclude the shout outs?
It does. Thank you very much. But we should do a shout out.
You can't say yes, it does, and then go but.
But we need to say a shout out to the women's team and also to Monica, who was captain of the women's team, who is now retired from football. So happy retirement, Monica.
Happy retirement, Monica.
Happy retirement, Monica. Maybe we'll have to do a Stag Stories special women's edition. We've never done one of them. What an idea. What an idea that would be.
Clive, where are we?
On holiday.
It's like I've just had a idea. I was aiming for an ideas collection. All I could find was gong. Right, I'm going to go off and play with these new sound effect toys. I can offer you
any more. Have you got any more?
Oh yeah. I've got more. These StreamYard.
Can you give us an option and we can pick one? What have we got? What are they called?
Do you have a toilet flushing?
I do not have a toilet flushing. No, I've got a.
We've got that. We've got that. We don't need that. We've got that covered.
I've got a large boo.
Oh, we like that. We'll have that. Go on then.
I've got a punch sound effect.
We want to take the boo.
Yeah, I'll have the boo. We'll take the boo.
Can I just say a sound effect is not a sound effect when you can't hear it?
Could you not hear it?
No.
No,
we couldn't hear a thing.
Oh, so I have to add it and then play it. Oh, that's annoying. All right. So there's a large boo. There's a laugh audience long. There's a side long, whatever that is. There's a gunshot, an explosion, a scream man, and a train whistle. Which one of those do you want?
The boo.
Okay, right.
Well, the boo, then the train whistle.
Oh, hang on.
Oh yes, train whistle would be fun.
You don't want much, do you? Good job. This is. I mean, I'm not.
Did you go to the doctors once, Clive, for a large boo?
Yeah, I had some cream.
Oh dear.
Excuse me, doctor. I've got a large boo. That wasn't large, was it?
And that's
it.
That's the train coming. That's the train coming to take all of this lot to the asylum. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for listening to all of this madness. We will see you again very, very soon, because there will be, fingers crossed, touch wood, pray to the gods of all things podcasting. There will be an episode of Stag Stories coming very, very soon indeed. And maybe there'll be 2 episodes of Stag Stories if Emily wants to take the presenting reign and do a female special, Monica.
Oh, yeah,
that'll be, food for thought indeed. Food for thought indeed. For now, though, thanks very much for watching. We'll see you when we see you. That's all we've got time for on this very impromptu Mansfield Matters episode. Thanks so much for joining us. And just to reiterate, if you've been getting involved in the comments and thinking, why isn't Craig reading out my comment? Why isn't Clive replying to what I'm saying? Why isn't Emily answering my question? Why is Nick ignoring my comment about shirts? It's because we weren't actually live. We recorded it on Wednesday. But yeah, we appreciate you watching and listening and all of that stuff as well. Make sure you follow us on all things social media at MTFC Matters to find out when we're going to do some special episodes of Stag Stories. Fingers crossed that they do go ahead. For now, though, enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy your blank weekend. And we are counting down the days until football returns already.